I still can't believe Pine Street hired somebody that did that.
So let me just say this. So throughout this, when you brought this up, right, you filed a grievance, and as a result of the grievance, Andrea and Sean came and spoke to you. Now, since this is the Pine Street Inn, hold on 1 second. Hey, Mindu. Good, Mindu. Yeah. Let me check to see if we have some canned goods. And I can probably have Sean Sequoia drop some stuff off in a few. Who's the tenant vendor? Okay. At, sure, I think I have some Charlie cards too. That's at 459, right? Yeah, okay. All right. I'll take care of that tonight. You're very welcome. No problem. All right. Sorry about that.
I just want to know why it got to the point where I was being stonewalled, ignored, for 2 months, almost 2 months.
Okay. Just see something. Okay, so
I mean, having the process and policies and all that's one thing.
yeah. So yeah.
Trust me, I know.
So the agency is no longer going to move forward with the notice to quit. You've requested documentation stating that.
I'm not. Yeah, there's other things. Sorry.
Yes.
But
So I guess Therese is working on getting that documentation to you to say that Therese.
oh, that's how you pronounce that name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No problem.
Couldn't figure it out.
So she's working on getting that documentation for you. But your main issue now is this notice of trespass, a stay away order, and you opposing it. You don't think.
Well, that's from the office.
Yes, that's.
I'm opposing it because it's all based on all of this.
Yeah, and I hear you. You know, you have the right to defend yourself against this, and this is why I'm here, to hear what you have to say.
Okay, you're the first person
Yeah.
that hasn't been, I'm trying to call it, the first person that hasn't been obviously corrupt and nasty to me, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm not all about shaking things up and doing the whole activist thing and all of that. And then people who want to benefit monetarily off of this, because Pine Street's been very good to me. I understand that this is a departmental issue.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was an ITer. I've been in and out. So this bothers me on so many levels.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
You can see that, yeah. So you want us to revoke this notice?
Yeah, every notice that has been involved in all of this.
And if we do choose to revoke this notice, you want some documentation saying that we were revoking this notice.
And why? And to explain why.
Okay. So I know that you met with Andrea and Sean. We had this lengthy conversation with you about the incident that happened with staff member. And as a result, the steps that they've taken is they have assigned or relocated that staff member to work someplace else. That staff member hasn't been here since that incident. No.
He's been on the property because his friend is Dana, and they used to, there's numerous residents here that have seen it. They sat out there and smoked weed. One of the residents, first of all, the street residents, I speak to a few people here. One of the residents actually, as he was walking by, overheard what he thought was Dana coaching him. Because Dana's had a bug in his ass since he got here about me.
Yeah.
And now that he found out that I'm friendly with some people here, he's gonna bug up his ass about them too.
So talk to me a little bit about that. What has been, have you had any incidents with Dana? House manager here?
Early on, he seemed to be asking inappropriate questions like,
Like what?
well, I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
So if I don't want to tell somebody anything private about me, I just don't.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything sketchy. It wasn't anything. It was just inappropriate to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Do you remember what he
It wasn't anything obscene, by the way.
Yeah. Do you remember what he asked you? Was it?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It was just about my life, because at first it was about who I talked to here, and he wasn't here long enough, to look friendly with him yet.
Yeah.
Take me a long time to trust people. That's why I have like 5 friends. I don't trust people.
Yeah.
Because I have a really long traumatic background with a lot of PTSD onto it.
Yeah.
And, so this hasn't been helping.
So, I know
It enlists that Ricky,
yeah.
which they refused to tell me his name, of course.
Who refused to tell you?
Everyone,
Yeah. Okay.
which has been sketchy to me from the beginning.
So how did you find out his name?
They told me.
Oh, okay.
Plus it's listed somewhere.
Yeah.
It just says Ricky.
Yeah.
But when someone does that, one of the first things at least the responsible person does is make note of who would do that kind of thing and kind of keep a list like as protection of like who to watch out for. I mean, because when this thing all goes through and he's been moved or whatever, I could be a victim of retaliation. I've had that before, not necessarily with staff. It's one of those things, especially when you have PTSD, you think about that stuff, protection, and you can't go around. It's like someone having a violent act done against them and only knowing the person's first name.
Right.
Sorry about that. And I'm not ignoring you.
It's all right.
We had an issue at another building where there was a fire.
Yeah, Washington Street.
So there's a lot of
Movement.
going on, and I know you see my phone buzzing. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to multitask.
Moving people over down there.
Right.
Yeah. But so one of these things talks about, I think it was the judge, talks about how he claimed that I was drunk.
Yeah, can I say
And all of that.
real quick?
And I've never had alcohol here. I don't drink medication related because of that, And it really, that disgusted me too, because again, accusation after accusation after accusation. And this is all to smear me.
So, Jeremy, so talk to me a little bit about this. When the staff member made that accusation, he said that you had some pepper spray.
Oh, I had that recorded too.
Yeah.
No, I had my camera on me because I've learned to record. If I leave my apartment, I have my camera on, it's in my hand.
Yeah.
Now, because really perfect reasons.
Yeah.
So when he saw my camera when I was coming out of the bathroom,
Mhm.
and he was like, "What is that, pepper spray?" And that's another smear.
Yeah.
And I have that recorded. And I have recordings of myself of my security cameras of me coming into my room with my camera in my hand.
Yeah.
One hand in the door handle, the other one there. And I'm not going to pepper spray. And it's just another disgusting item that should never have been said.
Well, I can understand why that would upset you. And obviously, I'm still upset about it. So you spoke to Andrea and Sean, right, in the grievance process. We've spoken to the employee. steps to do that on our end. The employee hasn't been back at this location, working in this location, assigned to this location.
Just letting you know that though.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know that.
Because your character is, you know, everything you say and do.
Yeah,
And it's also who you associate with.
yeah. So,
I choose my friends carefully.
yeah. So, you know, the main purpose for this meeting, which I'm told, is you want us to revoke this here. And what I can say to that is, me, along with the folks that I need to talk to, leadership, will speak about that and meet about that. And should we choose to do that, you'll be given something saying that we revoked it. What I will also say is, if you have any issue with a staff member, like Dana's here, obviously Sean's Dana's supervisor, but if you feel uncomfortable talking to a particular staff member about anything, I'm gonna write my number down for you, as well as my office, email address, so you can reach out to me anytime that you have a question, problem, or concern.
I just want to know that things are taken seriously.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get stonewalled.
No, very much so. So we take tenant concerns and grievances very
But
seriously.
all my past concerns were never taken seriously, and I have other incidents too.
I'm gonna, one second, where's my pen? I'm gonna, you have a scrap piece of paper?
It's court papers, I mean, I'd rather not.
No, I don't wanna write on your court papers. I might have some. I'll get some out of the office upstairs. I can go in the office and get some. So yeah, I will be back to follow up with you. I do have to speak to other folks about this.
Oh, yeah.
This meeting, a notice of trespass, a stay away order. And obviously I have to speak to the staff member involved too, to let them know what's going on. So, once we make a decision about this, someone will follow up with you, and I'll make sure I follow up with you too.
I don't want it to be months from now. But
No, it's not gonna be months. It should be, I can give you a time frame, but it should be fairly quick. I'm gonna prioritize it.
my time frame,
And
in my mind, is different than other people's.
yeah, it won't be months. I can tell you that. It won't be, months at all. I'm gonna prioritize it and get you an answer as quickly as possible. You know, as I said, there are other folks that I have to talk to and involved in this conversation. And then ultimately the decision, we gotta escalate the property management and probably issue something saying that they will do it, just like we did for the notice to quit. Or we're going to do for the notice to quit. Do you have any other concerns, problems, any other things you want to talk to me?
At one point, I really thought that after all of this,
Yeah.
what I deserve
Yeah.
is to have you guys put some sort of memo together
Mm-hmm.
for everyone in the departments that have had their hands in any of this to read, so they can see for themselves that this was, well, at this point, illegal, but mainly that it was all false.
Yeah.
And I want to know that anyone I've ever talked to in Pine also gets this. Because what happens too is people in offices will read something and they won't ever see a follow-up on that.
Yeah.
They won't ever see it to the end, but they also won't ever see something getting fixed.
Right.
And what happens is any future communication or any dealings with them at all, I'll get passive aggressive treatment
Mm-hmm.
and ignored for things in the future. And it's just, you never know who's up to date or not. Just like when you came in, there's so many things you didn't know.
Yeah.
2 months of me filling people in and then getting the middle finger over and over again.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
So after you filed that grievance, did Andrew and Sean explain the next steps to you? What was communicated to you after you?
I quickly got court papers and, basically, because I saw them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think this is when this came.
And then the notice of stay away.
Yeah.
And the notice to vacate.
Yeah, and that's where all of the fabrication started to build.
Okay, so your point is basically, hey, everything that the staff members say is
Right.
not true.
Yes, because I have 100%
Right, and
foolproof proof
right,
of it.
and you sent the video out, and I did see, I guess, a portion of the video, right?
You gotta watch the whole thing
I've seen
or
the whole
else.
thing.
Yeah, if you don't see the whole thing, it's pointless. You'll see me just kind of, because I can't have a conversation with somebody who's talking like that.
Yeah,
I can't do it, I freeze up.
yeah,
And then I fade and all of that stuff, and other things going on. So it's like, I'm quiet the whole time.
yeah.
At one point, he's still in front of my door, and I'm yelling.
Yeah, get away from, get this guy
He's still
away.
in front of my door.
Yeah, I heard what you said on the video.
And that's where the whole thing of, I think it was before that. It's when he's on the phone with Andrew, and it's like, Jeremy's acting real racist right now. And I like practically jumped my kid. You're kidding, right? I'm recording this whole thing.
And you seem to be very upset because.
First of all,
Yes,
untrue.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes, your point is, you didn't make the comment that he's saying that you made being racist. You were
None of
referring
that.
when you said these people, you were really referring to Pine Street Inn employees
Yeah.
and not, yeah, so I get what you're trying to say. I understand
I
what
was
you're
telling
trying to say.
somebody last night, I was like, all my friends are black, except one.
Yeah,
And all my friends here are all black also.
Right.
So, and I have no history of that, and everyone that I know that knows me is pissed about this.
I can understand why you'd be frustrated, and I know that you expressed, or at least during this conversation, that you struggle with some PTSD. So
Yeah.
are you speaking to anybody about that?
I'm not gonna get into the mental health stuff. I'm handling that on my own.
And I'm just asking you only because you don't have to do
I don't wanna
this.
hurt myself or others,
No,
and then that's where I'll leave it.
No, and I don't think you want to hurt yourself or anybody else, but we do offer services via HST team. Oh, so you don't know, okay, so this,
I've been blacklisted for a long time here now,
Yeah.
because of complaints.
well, this is why this is really important to know. It's good information, and I'm not here to sell you anything, I'm just here to let you know about the stuff that we have, we can offer you. So we have a housing stabilization team of clinicians, right, where if you say to me, hey, you know what, I would like to speak to somebody about that issue, I can submit a referral and have someone from Pine Street come and talk to you and meet with you regularly. Substance abuse services, recovery coach, clinical intervention, staffing support. These are all things that I could submit a referral and have someone come and meet with
The
you.
problem with that is, I won't want any of those services from inside Pine Street anymore, not after this.
Not after
Don't
this.
trust it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my hope that we can change that, and rebuild that relationship. I think it's obviously important for you to get the help and assistance that you
But
need.
also redeem Pine Street,
Yeah. well,
because
I
it's
agree.
not Pine Street, it's just this department.
Yeah,
That's it.
I agree with that.
I've worked in corporate world, I understand, but I've never seen disgusting acts like this.
Yeah. All right.
But my work didn't directly involve people exactly, so.
Jeremy, let's do this. Let me follow up with the folks who I need to follow up with about revoking your notice of trespass. Obviously, like I said, I have to speak to the staff member involved too, because this involves them.
Wait.
But I'm going to speak to folks who I need to talk to, and once I do that, get an answer back in terms of which direction we're gonna go with that, I'll come back and meet with you. It won't take months. I won't ignore you.
It will take weeks either, though, right?
I would
Next
have
week
to say,
would be preferred.
I would have to say if it's not next week, maybe the latest week after. I don't wanna put a time frame on that, but I am gonna prioritize this issue, yeah.
This is extremely important.
As soon as I finish meeting with you, I'm gonna send an email out to the group, saying that we met, expressing what your concerns were, and expressing that you would like this revoked.
Future reference, when you come to my door and knock, and if I don't answer, it's because I'm wearing earplugs. Okay, I sleep. It's the only way I can sleep. You know, I don't have a schedule exactly.
Right.
So my ringer is loud as hell, and I hear the buzzer.
Okay, so you would rather me ring
Knocking, I don't always hear it.
Okay, so if I don't get you, I'll ring you doorbell.
Doorbell or call my number,
Yeah,
because I keep that loud.
okay.
I have tinnitus and then from the head injuries and
Yeah,
other stuff that I need to have like as much possible silence.
all right, so it's my hope to get this all resolved. And as I get this resolved, hopefully get you to at least take part in some of our supportive services. If you need that, if you want.
I need to go to therapy now because of this.
Well, you know.
And I have refused to basically leave the building until this is resolved, for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, threats above my head.
Yeah.
So who in my position with all my stuff going on would save the safety in the building?
Yeah, yeah. All right. It was a pleasure meeting with you. I'm going to write my number down for you and write my email address down for you. Probably be easier getting me via email
Yeah.
than phone most times. So
I don't do phone calls, yeah.
I will definitely follow back up. All right. All right. Let me go into the office. I'm gonna grab some paper out of the office so I can write this stuff down for you. Thank you. Oh, I have some down here. All right. So I'll go up, get out some paper. And we'll go from there. Basically, yeah.
Yes, it's local already, because we're on the
Yeah, that's what I got from the video.
He was saying-
You guys were here, and then and then it was just
What
kind
happened
of.
when he came out
Yeah,
to talk to me about what was said the day before?
yeah.
We were talking, and then suddenly he started to get belligerent, and that's when I darted back into my room. And I came back out, and I opened the door, and that's when he was there. And I was talking to Andrea, saying, I'm in the office. If you can see, there was no sign of a fight, which, again, I approve of. So, you know, nothing can be explained away. And I've never been a person to really stand up for myself, you know, the past couple of years. And this is a problem. So, you know, I don't feel I'm being unreasonable.
No, I mean, if something that happened, which is saying, you know, something in fact did happen with the staff, you should definitely, we have.
There needs to be welcome communication, and there hasn't been much of that. But again, I understand that Pauline will take some stuff, and then she'll just move it on to who it needs to go to.
Right.
And she has no control over what happens after that, I understand.
It's very true. I mean,
It's the whole, you know, chain of custody, communication.
email address down for you first. And, I mean, I know you said you don't do phones, so this is my email address, Jeremy. And what I want you to do is, and I know, things get testy with staff sometimes and different stuff. If you have, yeah, if you have any negative interaction, any staff member, I don't care who it is, I want you to walk away and email me right away and say, hey, this just happened, can you please look into it? And I'll look right into it. We'll go on. If you have anything at all, anything, you know, send me an email, hey, can you come by right away? There's an issue. I'll come by. I'd rather you do that than engage in any type of back and forth where someone can say, hey, you said something that you didn't say or misconstrue an incident.
Right. Which is why I'm recording it myself.
Right. I'd rather.
I'm mainly recording when I'm recording me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I understand that. I'd rather you, and because, listen, in our role as supervisors and managers, you can come, you can investigate the incident, and say, hey, what happened, and deal with it the way we should deal with it. But,
Humanely,
yeah.
without
Yeah.
threats and intimidation and fear.
Yeah, I don't want you to, it's easy to get yourself into a situation where a staff member says, hey, you know, yelled at me, screamed, you can see I'm threatened, I feel scared. It's easy for that to happen. I would rather you disengage right away and say, hey, listen, Mike, can you please stop by 1017, we need to talk. Right? That way I can deal with it right away. You know, and I will. You know, the relationship between the staff members here and you guys as tenants need to be strong.
Right, and there needs to be other conversations going on too.
Yeah, it should. You know, any issue, email me. I mean that.
Okay.
Right away. If you have any issue, please do.
There is something I should explain, and I'll do that.
Yeah.
Something else I should talk about.
Please,
I'd rather do it, yeah.
Any issues that you have, you know, I mean, if it's an issue that can be resolved, with case management and just having everybody on the same page, we're going to do that too. My role particularly oversees evening staff, including,
Yeah.
but we work collaboratively with case management, obviously. Any issues, man, just please give me a buzz. All right. I'm sorry that you had to go through this incident. But moving forward, it's my hopes that the interactions will get a lot better with staff. I did see a lot of the video, and you know, you tell you're a little agitated during the video, you're upset. I don't want you to get to that point. You know, when you got to yell at somebody and say, get away from my door.
Yeah, that's all trauma talking right there.
Yeah. Don't want to put you through that.
No.
You shouldn't have to put yourself through that. So if you have any issue, email right away. Email me and I'll get right back to you.
From now on, if a resident comes to my door and is threatening to send family after me,
Yeah.
which I have recorded too,
Yeah.
will that be addressed?
Yeah, what
From
you have
here
to
on.
do, so let me ask you, have you ever called the emergency on-call number?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, if that happens, and this is really important to do it this way. If that happens, if there are no staff members here, I need you to pick up the phone, call the emergency on-call number, right? So I can dispatch a staff here, so they can, one, witness the incident, prompt an incident report, prompt some follow-up by case manager, prompt some follow-up by property management.
Because none of those steps were taken when it first happened.
That's what has to be done.
Yeah.
You know, the agency has a zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
Violence against staff, staff on staff, tenant on tenant, tenant on staff. Zero tolerance. So if someone is threatening you, you gotta escalate that up the chain.
That's the thing. I've got stonewalled on so many levels for 2 years now about a lot of things.
Yeah, you call that emergency on-call number right away.
That didn't help me this time, because I did it that night too.
What, the night when,
The night all that, yeah.
Yeah,
When he claimed I was yelling stuff in there,
yeah.
I was on the phone with on-call.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a bit of a different situation, and I'm gonna tell you why. You had a staff here, you and the staff who was on site had a tense situation going on. Staff who was on site had to be dispatched, but the response happened. You know, Andrea and Sean came, they followed up.
Fabricated a bunch of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Sean and Andrea came, they followed up with the staff member involved, and they did their piece with that part of it. I think, but it's important to know, when Sean and Andrea come and talk to you, what they're questioning you on is the information that was provided to them by the staff on site. So it's not like they're deliberately targeting you. They're getting an incident report just like me, and they're reading it, and they're saying, okay, now let me check in with the staff involved, Ricky. Hey, what happened with that tenant? And then they take all of that, right, and then come and say, hey, what happened that day? Did you do it? You know?
You ever heard of trust but verify?
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't do that.
Yeah. And
If they would have appropriately watched the video instead of on my phone in there and then just ignoring it, this all could have saved a lot of people a lot of time and aggravation.
yeah. Yeah, please.
You take grievances with some staff and residents and whatever, that's obviously acceptable.
Right.
You know, just like sexual assault victims, you know, you trust,
Yeah.
but you gotta verify what you're being handed as far as, especially evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I'm a problem solver, and if I can cut out a bunch of steps to solve it,
Yeah.
I don't know how I was going with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, any problems, shoot me a message. I know Whitney comes here from time to time, Whitney Dorsey, female staff member who works in the office, from time to time, long grades, young woman who works in the office.
During the day?
During the evening, she hasn't been here maybe for a little bit now, she's in another building, but.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. She, she's sitting out.
No issues with her.
Yeah, no, I don't have problems with anyone else.
Yeah. All right. We'll figure this all out. If you have any issues, contact me. I will get back to you.
I've never seen so I should be doing well.
All right. Listen, have a good night. Good meeting you. Good talking to you. I will follow up with you. All right.